This week's sponsor is Absolution Clothing. Absolution Clothing is a new clothing brand from Liverpool with unique designs for hoodies and t-shirts for all ages at really good prices. Give them a follow, you won't be disappointed. Absolute Clothing. You'll find all the information within the description.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Billy Moore podcast. And today's special guest is Bryan Creighton, aka the Big Bad Wolf. How are you, Bryan?
I'm good, thanks, yeah.
Thank you for coming along. Make sure you're speaking to that mic, please, Bryan, so we can get the full effect of the conversation. The Big Bad Wolf. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because not only have you fought in MMA, you've been in the army for a number of years.
Yeah, my life's a chapter. I could write a book, possibly. So I was in the army for 10 years. Before that, I went to college and then come into MMA, Thai boxing. I've been for qualifiers for the Taekwondo Olympics. So I've done a vast array of things.
So tell us, let's start from the beginning then. Right, growing up, what was it like for you?
So I had a good life, lived in Kirby, my mum and dad, my two sisters. So like every kid, you're into everything, you're going round. And when my mates were going into weed, as it happens, and bongs, I started going to Thai boxing. I found a little bit of a love. I got a black belt at Jiu-Jitsu when I was 12, started when I was 6. And then from there I moved on to Thai boxing. And then Thai boxing's kind of become my life all throughout my childhood. And then from there I went to go to university. My mum, old school mum, you're going to get into loads of debt. You don't want to go to university. So I joined the army to box. And then joined the paras at first. I failed on my back, on P Company. My back just like a week back, went in, give in. And funny enough, we were on the 20 miler. So you do a 20 mile tab in 4 hours. And I come off on the first mile, up the hill. A big massive mountain, I call it the hill. Yeah. So my back went, and as he said, Creighton, get up there, number 6. I said, wait, he pushed me up because I was doing all right in P Company. I was scheduled to pass, so I thought, if I do pass this, I'm in. And as he pushed me up, I fell like about 40 yards down the hill, and he picked me up, and my back and my legs went. He said, pick the Bergen up, and then from there, my journey started going to rehab to get me back better in ITC.
Yeah.
And then I had 2 options then. I could either go for another P Company selection, or my dad was in the Kings, or transfer over to the Kings, which is a boxing regiment, and I know I could box.
Yeah.
So that was the natural progression for me.
Jimmy Neri boxed for the Kings, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah.
My brother was a coach for the Kings. He was in RSM when he left the Kings. He was in Germany, based in Osnabrück.
Yeah.
For over a decade.
My dad was based there as well.
Yeah, he was based in Osnabrück. That's the first place I ever went to when I went abroad. Never left the country, and the first place I went to was Osnabrück.
Yeah.
Flew into Munster, and I loved it. Germany, I loved the landscape.
My dad always talks about Germany, what it was like, and growing up when he was in the army and he went to Northern Ireland. Yeah. So it was kind of, he was passing the torch down through the family. So I didn't understand war, and then we got called to go to Afghanistan.
Yeah, well, we've got a family history of like soldiers, like, my uncle and my cousins were in the paras, 3 para and Aldershot. I remember my uncle Freddie taking me up to Aldershot when I was a kid. I must have been about 10, 11, you know what I mean? And we went across that assault course. I remember there's this big plane was outside, it was the Dakota, World War II.
Right, okay, yeah.
Plane that was there, and, I enjoyed the experience, but yeah, so my brother joined the army, Kings like yourself. Did you go to war?
Yes, I went to war. Funny enough, just taking you back when I first joined, have you seen like, I'd say Full Metal Jacket? So my mates, my girl's brother, funny enough, Thomas, he said to me, be ready when you get to these Kingos, they're animals. Yeah. So I didn't think, I thought, I can fight, I can handle myself. And he said, no, I'm telling you, these are animals. So passed out, got me posting Cyprus, got there, and the first night I got there, no word of a lie, there was a lad sitting on, can I swear?
Yeah.
There's a lad sitting on the window screen of a car. Another one walking around naked with 2 bottles of whiskey in his hand. And then another two lads fighting, naked again. I thought, very fucking right, like, saying this. So that was my first experience. Then next day, we all settled down. And that's when I kind of found my feet in the boxing then.
Yeah. Did you enjoy boxing in the army?
I lived a life. I was a track-suit soldier.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was Thai boxing for the army.
Was it, yeah?
Yeah. The actual come out, I won a world title through the army in Civvy Street. When they all come out, they used to drum me out.
Yeah.
And then the same with MMA, the bagpipers get bagpiped out. So it was kind of like I've had the best of both worlds. And then going to war was a whole different story again.
Tell us about your experience, because you know what, right? I've known you for a few years now, Bryan. You know, you're a very likable kid. And we spoke in depth about a few things. You know, you've fought in MMA competitions, you train like an animal, you know, for next to nothing, really.
Literally next to nothing.
For nothing. So you said you could talk about this stuff as we go on. We'll catch up with that in a bit. You know, you talked about war. I'd like you to talk about that, and then what happened then, lead on to that.
The first port of call when we were on pre-deployment training, TRB, Theatre Reserve. That was in Cyprus. And we were on course standby to go straight away. Straight away, you have to go to Afghanistan. From Cyprus to Afghanistan, it's a quick run rather than coming from England, as we were the ready regiment to go. And then from there, the first call, we had to do our death letters. So a death letter is basically you're writing to say to someone, like, you're not coming back. And I was 20 at the time. My 2 mates were 18. And we were all sitting in the cupboards, like, in each of us in an individual cupboard in our rooms, put all the beds into the centre. And we had to think of, like, how do you write to someone that you're not coming back, you're coming back in a box, or you're coming back in bits, or you don't come back at all. So I writ on mine, all that my mates are showing us pages of letters, and my first one, I writ more to me mum and dad than I could write to me now wife. Yeah. And it was 4 pages, like, about who should have given me Xbox 2, who should have given the PlayStation 2, who's got the right to the room because of the family. And to me girl, that was the hardest one. Yeah. And I was on the phone to her, crying my eyes out, thinking, this could be the last call. And all I could write was, I love you. And then after that, it's a ... And I said, I'll be back. And I was hoping that would be the last letter. So come the next day, we're going to Afghanistan. So we're all in line on the Pantex. Get a phone call, Creighton's not going. So all my mates were like ready to go. Creighton's not going. Sergeant Major calls me into the office. You're going to get your wisdom tooth out. I was like, there's nothing wrong with my teeth. He said, no, you're going to get your teeth out. I was like, if you look at the line of men I've trained with them, I'm going to fight with them side by side. He said, no, you're not. You're going to get your wisdom tooth out. So the next minute, I seen this lad running across. And he's one of my good mates. I was in college with him. Yeah. Done Bridgman. And he said, what the fuck are you doing, mate? And he goes to me, oh, I volunteered. I went, why have you volunteered? He said, someone's got to go and get the teeth out. So I've got to step into the police. Yeah. So I was like, didn't say nothing. Ran straight across to the dentist, and it was me. And then I was in the dentist, here's me with the dentist signing a waiver for the dentist to say, if I snap your jaw, it's okay, it's the army's thing. Put his foot on my chest, got my wisdom tooth out. By the time I come back, they already left to go to Afghanistan. One of my mates who become the sergeant of the company, Stephen Barry, he went to Afghan. It's only when he come home, John Bridgman died, he got shot in the neck. I was the only one to come from the regiment and give them like a plaque to say thank you, and to his mum. And his mum said to me, go in the living room, I know what you would want to look at. And I said, what? And she said, where he's been shot in the neck. And I was like, thinking, how she just read my mind. And she said, I know it could have been you that spoke about you and what's happened.
Is this the kid that volunteered in your place?
Yeah. So that was one of the things when you war, like, it's a concept of thinking, oh, wonder what ifs and whys, and a lot of things you think about. And then so from there, I went on the boxing team with this tooth out. it was just an excuse in my eyes, because the armies, they always make things, you're just a pawn, and they'll move you around to say where you need to go.
So what was convenient for them? They'll just move you?
So they used me as a poster boy, to put me into the boxing team, advertise me through fighting, so it looks good in their behalf. But deep down, I wanted to go to war. I was trained to go to war. And so the second time I was on the army boxing team in Aldershot, doing well with the boxing with the combined services, going around London, touring, and basically living the life as a professional boxer, as an amateur in the army. Yeah. And then got a phone call, the regiment, is Creighton there? And so come up, Creighton, you wanted through the halls. I said, yeah. He said, you've been called back to battalion. I knew we were going back to Afghanistan. And he said, the lads are saying in the boxing team, because you're with a whole different amount of regiments. Some are engineers, some are RAF. Some are engineers, some are REME. So they're all over. They're diverse, and you become good mates with everyone. And he said, do you want to go back? I was like, yeah. He said, do you want to leave this? I was like, yeah. So I got called straight back to Cyprus. Just met up with the OC, the officer commanding the company. He said, do you want to go back? You've come up. At the time, I told my wife, fiance at the time, that I was going over to do a potential junior NCO cadre. So that means, like, once you become a corporal, get your Lanciac, and you go through the ranks. I said to her, I'm going this weekend. I'll be back next weekend. And she looked at me and said, no, you won't. And she didn't know either way. Yeah. And before you know it, I was on a plane going to Cyprus. So I met him in front of the OC, and he said, you're well known in the battalion to box. Do you want to come to Cyprus? Do you want to come to Afghanistan with the same men who's been deployed? And do you want to deploy with them? And the first words out of the mouth were like, too fucking right to do. And then after that, he said, what happens if you lose a leg? You can't box. I went, well, I said, I'm small. I could always put a black foot on and look like a pirate and go into films. Yeah. So we started laughing at that. And then I said, on one exception, if we do go to war, I want the GPMG. So with GPMG, I'm 5'2". The GPM is like 4.8 meters.
General purpose machine gun, yeah.
The general. And I used to walk around with it in Afghan up to my shoulders. Like,
was it heavy?
No, it was at the start, but then it becomes like a second arm. Yeah. So you're just walking around with it. But it was just funny in the concept that I was the smallest there with the biggest gun. Yeah. So yeah. So that after that we come back. We lost.
Was this in Kabul?
No, Afghanistan. So we were along the Neb in checkpoints on PBs, patrol bases, and we were basically doing hearts and minds. So you're getting a load of scousers going into an unknown territory, going into marketplaces where they don't like you. You're not liked, but you're there to basically to say we're here to help. So what we done was we used to get a haircut off the local barbers, and you had to put like a cordon around the barbers and say, okay, do you want to get your hair? So one of us will have to get the balls, so just go on a cutthroat and go ahead, I'll get my hair cut by them. And then by that we would generate hearts and minds, like giving the kids a bit of education, building infrastructure for them. So we were doing well, as well as the obvious fighting against the Taliban and going to like having engagements with them. That to me, there's no better feeling in the world than getting shot at and putting the rounds down, and basically the security and the heightened sense of adrenaline you've got just to go through it. It's unbelievable. I think fighting is the next best thing. So the fighting was my next drug, as I've got addicted to fighting, yeah.
You just got addicted to war?
Yeah, got addicted to war, and then come back. I was back on the boxing team, transferred over to MMA. So I was just moving around, and then I never got the, you get like it's like a care package. My care package was to solve my head and go straight to war, go straight to fighting. So fighting to me was war. And at the start I didn't realise, but I was just masking something that was already there. Because when you get like, it's called decompression, and the army give you 24 hours to get bladdered on camp, and they deem to think that that's necessary for you to, after spending 9 months away, to decompress for 24 hours and then okay, free to roam. Whereas the way I see it, dirty washing always comes out clean. Yeah. In the army, you go in as a fresh bod, you come out like a different character, and no matter what they say, whatever regiment you come in, you come out as a different person. Your brain has been tweaked that many times. Like you've been through like that many stress situations. You know, okay, I can handle this. I want to be the best, and that's why the army is so effective and how it works with people. So coming into Civvy Street, I was boxing, fighting, MMA at the time. Sorry, it was Thai boxing at the time, and my mentality was just to go through people, Thai boxing, wipe people out. So yeah, and then I realised that PTSD was setting in, and my mask was funny enough, John Gillies, he's my coach.
Yeah.
The first time I went over to him, I said to him, who do you want smoking? And he says, I'd like you to come to the gym, you know, I haven't seen you for a while. And I said, no, who do you want smoking? He said, it's not your type of people, you're not like that. And he says, so Miguel was getting her eyebrows done, so was John, so we were talking. And he says, come back to the gym tomorrow, know what he's like, and say the same thing. So we had a load of lads that I didn't know, all the trainers, and he said, like with his hand, come over here, tell me what did you say to me yesterday? I went, who do you want smoking? And he goes, walk out that door and come back in and say it again, and say you're going to be a champion on the other end of it. And I went, well, do you want me to run the champion now? And he goes, no, just walk out the door. So I come back into the door, he's got everyone standing there, and he goes, say it, who do you want smoking? So they all start laughing at me. So I walked back out and I went to him, do you want a champion? Do you want a fighter? And he goes, that's the Bryan I need to know. So I come back in then, and that's how my journey kind of started from there.
So you got involved in like M&A with John and...
With John, so I was also with a coach called Sean Martin from Hammer. So he kind of, as soon as I come out the army, they kind of picked me up and like guided me through. I done a podcast, I think it was or an interview on Channel 5. I was basically speaking about the same things and the truth and the realities, what behind PTSD, because not many people...
See, there's different forms of PTSD, isn't there? There's different, like, you know, people, you know, you're in PTSD and you're in a post-traumatic, you know, environment, aren't you?
So
you know?
Most of the time with my wife, about 3 o'clock in the morning when I was in Afghan, I'll be on guard, stag guard, and then in this life, even to this day, I top and tail at 3 o'clock in the morning. Get up, check my watch, check the phone, and I'm tossing and turning. Because in my head, I've got to protect my surroundings and my family now. Whereas back then, it was protecting your mates, protecting the ones who were there. And now I'm in my head. I've got to defend me house is my castle. You can attack, and there's no one there to be attacked. But then your brain's still thinking over the time and over time again. Yeah,
that's got to be a frightening place to be in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was diagnosed with PTSD when I come back from Thailand. I was in Wandsworth prison, and I don't believe I did have any kind of like PTSD. I kind of struggled a little bit with sort of replaying a few events that were quite scary and they were ongoing, but it wasn't affecting me. I don't believe. I think I've had that experience of going through the system as a kid from an early, and it was normal. So for me to tell you a story and to look at the shock in your face, like as I'm telling you, I'm thinking, what's wrong with this kid here? Why is he looking like that? And you're like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I think, well, what's fucking wrong with you? But in reality, I'm talking about someone stabbing himself in the neck and there's blood squirting everywhere, and the first thing I want to do is get a coffee, and I'm not really concerned about what's going on.
You're always, like, it's a glare, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you're deflecting, Bill, you this, and I thought, no, not really, it was there, it happened, and I'm okay with it now.
I kind of, when I went to counselling for PTSD, they said you need to stop fighting, and I said, fighting is like my release.
Escape, yeah.
So, but I there was one fight when I fought in, I think it was in London in the O2 on Cage Warriors. I put the finish the lad, and I hit him, and Sean and John were in the corner, and they both said, step back. So I wanted to feel pain, and I rushed in to let him choke me out. And then at the end, I was like, just what do you do? You fucked up now. And then John was like, why have you just done that? And then it was hard to explain to them at the time, because the men, mama man, you wanted to feel something a bit different. Like I wanted to feel the actual pain of
And did you lose that fight?
Yeah, I got choked out.
Yeah. So you just wanting to get that feeling?
Yeah, 5 fights on the bounce. I was getting choked out, and I was always coming up with an excuse. And the people were easily beatable. They were there to be beat. It's just that I wouldn't make it a mistake. I'd purposely put myself in the position to get choked out. And then it come to a point where John was like, this needs to stop.
It needs to change,
You need to change. And my wife said, what are you doing to yourself?
No, do you know what, Brian, I get exactly the feelings of, well, you know, because you can hurt me all day, punches, you know, I can take a punch and, you know, but I couldn't take the emotional punches.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
On the outside of the ring.
Baggage that comes with it, yeah.
All that was kind of the pressure, the stress, the feelings, the emotional kind of like upheaval.
Yeah.
Put me in the ring and punch the living daylights out of me, kicked the fuck out of me, and I was okay with that.
It's like you feel happy to do that, but yeah. So anyway, that got turned over, and John basically, he's like a dad figure.
That's who addressed that. Yeah.
5 years old, he addressed it, and then he said, "Spar me," and then I sparred him. And he only give me one dig, and that was the end of it. He said, "Don't make me dig it again," and he said, "If this happens again, you're gone." And then from there, I went on a knockout spree. I was just knocking everyone out. So again, it's the power of the mind.
Yeah.
If you can believe it, it's easily done. You just have to go out and grasp it.
Yeah, I like John. I like his I like the way he goes about things.
Yeah.
You know.
It's old school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No messing about.
No.
It is what it is. We'll sort it out.
Gives you a pat on the back. That's all you get for a well done. Yeah.
There's no way, you can't be sensitive around the likes of John and the lads in there, which is it's good. You know, so you've been through a lot. 10 years in the army, right? Going to war, suffering with PTSD. You're out. You're involved in Cage Warriors MMA.
Yeah.
You've got a new name now, the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah. Pushing it forward.
So what was your dreams? What was your goals, Brian?
Well, my aspirations was to get in the UFC. You know what? I was in the world top 100 at flyweight, and I might be small, but I'm very thick in stature. Yeah, I always struggle to make.
You're a
weight.
thick hombre, aren't you? You're a big thick hombre,
big
like
man.
Yeah.
But I always struggled to make the weight, and that was my downfall. And then I had to put myself back in line again and say, how can I, if I want to do something good, I've got to commit 100%. There's no partying. So part of, like, with my life, it's so easy to go the opposite way. And my girl made me draw a straight line. She said, you either stick to that, or you're going to end up astray.
Yeah.
And then that's what happened with me then. And then I stuck with John. If I went out to town, John at the doorman say, nah, not tonight, lad.
Yeah.
And then next door, not tonight, lad. And John would phone me and say, you can't get in anywhere, can you? And I'd be like, how do you know? He goes, got spies everywhere. He said, get home. And then after that, like, I enjoyed life again. I enjoyed competing for the sake of the love of the sport, not the fear to kill someone or the wanting to kill someone. Because to me, that's fighting with anger. And if you fight with anger, you're going to lose. If you fight with your mind, as in Zen, an open box, you're just going to go right through anyone.
Yeah, I always see, when you see people who are angry, they're screaming, and they're full of all that testosterone, and you just know that they're going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Because they're just going to come at you like a bull. And all you've got to do is take a side step.
Step off. And
I've had a few, where I've disciplined through boxing, where you've had to control that. It's not anger when it's boxing, it's an art, it's a sport, it's a skill. You see the punches before they get thrown.
It's nice to, with boxing, hit, not be it, counter.
See, I was taught a few things when I was Thai boxing in Thailand. It wasn't to look at the eyes, it was to look at the chest.
Language, yeah.
To read from here onwards, because the movements of the body dictated where you were going to get it.
In Thailand, like, I learned it, like they say, be like a snake.
Yeah.
Just don't creepy, like, and then snap, and then crawl yourself back in and snap out. But them Thais are hard.
Yeah,
I've been bingoed by a Thai.
Yeah.
And then with the World Championships, beat Thailand, I beat Iran, beat China, and coming into the last fight in Thailand, and Warapong Nongting, his name was.
Yeah.
So I come out, I was 18. First holiday I ever had was in the World Championships.
Yeah.
And I bladdered him with punches, and all he used to do was walk straight ahead and fuck off, elbow me.
Yeah.
I took one. The second one, he was a jumping knee, and the third one was a right hand. I was like, what the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, it's difficult. When I was over there, I was sitting amongst guys, talking with them. I learned a little bit of the language, and they were sharing their experience and a little bit of information about keep away from it when they're close. Because I could box, I was a boxer as a kid, so I had some skills there. I learned how to kick when I was over there. But they said to me, when you're getting in the ring with these, don't keep away from the clinches. Because straight away, the knees are coming in, the elbows.
They're so short but so compact, and where they throw them, generate the power to leap them knees in.
I was just told to throw myself against them and just put all my weight upon them.
And bear hug them.
Yeah, just bear hug them, but just keep them at a distance, and that's what I kept to do. I tended to do. I feared getting close.
Yeah.
I feared getting close because them knees are sharp and them elbows.
And then they whip them elbows in. So after time, we used to have a face like.
I think that their guard is completely different from ours. Theirs is more where
pushing it out.
So where's mine? You know, ours is more this. It's protecting the whole of your head. So I kept that tight as a guard, and I was quick with my hands. Never you know, I used to watch them rubbing bottles up and down the shins.
A lad used to do that from Kirby, and he used to smash bottles on his shins, and he also used to mop poles. Yeah. Whack them on his shins.
What happens is it creates a callus on your shin, which is then hardens up.
I'd rather kick a bag.
I did try it for a couple of months, rubbing bottles up and down on me, until he bled.
Your bottle like.
Until he bled me, but you know, you're getting kicked there, it's painful anyway. It's like bone on bone.
Yeah.
You know, you can hit them with bamboo sticks, but you know, so yeah, it is a tough sport. You've done, you know, you mixed martial arts, UFC, boxing, you've been around fighting all your life, you've been in the army, so your life.
It's like a chapter after chapter.
So tell us a little bit about your career, Bryan, because we spoke about this, and you know, for the time and the effort and the energy that you put into to this, you were getting nothing back, was you?
No, so luckily enough, I got compensated coming out the army. I'm deaf in my left ear. So what I'd done, I put all my money into houses, and then I was paying myself. I worked for a charity. I was paying myself a wage to fight as a professional full time.
Paying yourself a wage?
Yeah, but prior to that, I was on the taxis, and that was just hardest thing I've ever done was the taxis, to be honest. Thinking you've got routine and you're half scrapping with people. People are not going to pay rent, pay the fares. So I thought, this is not for me. Paid myself to fight when this compensation come through. And then from there, I was living in the gym, training as a professional, paying myself a wage. But then when you're getting fights, you're getting buttons, like we spoke about this last time. And you for the hours you're putting in, you've got to pay.
Run us a price tag down, please, because the way you broke it down.
My price tag, I could say, I go off my last fight if you want. I was paying myself a wage to fight. I got beat in my last fight. I got a knee to the head, which I didn't see. You never see them knees. So I got £800. £100 was for food. But when you go, this was the fight in London, and that £100 was food was expenses. You don't eat because you've got to lose weight. So it's a bonus. So you get 800 plus expenses, 900. Out of that 900, I had to pay £620 for my brain scan, my medical. So say 600 for just type, and then £200 was my nutrition, and then so I'm walking away with £200, and then from that £200, I still had to go and John would never take anything off me, neither would any of the other trainers. So for me, as a person, to say thank you, I'd buy John like a pair of trainees. So technically, you're walking away with £100, and then that's what I got. So when I got all my money back, I was like, I'm 35 now. This is going into the last one. Is it worth putting my life on the line to do this? But then, so I've just started going and training with Darren Smith, bodybuilding, and then I'm thinking, there's one last fight left in me. There's always that one fight.
You're still young enough, aren't you? You know, 35. You're in the prime now, right? You're quite strong. You got to, you know, you're physically, you know, you look a little bit like what's his name, Franco Columbo. You've got
that's in
that kind of shape.
World. That's what I'd like to emulate, because the way he's built and how it's kind of very similar. But then in the fighting world, it was like someone like Sean Sheikh, and he's called the muscle tank.
So you're doing a lot of bodybuilding now with Darren, Darren Smith.
to be honest, after the layoff, after my last fight, I've stayed away from fighting, and it's been a blessing, but it's also been not as a blessing as in I opened a company with my business. Well, never opened it; it was already existing. So I come on board with the company. I learned how to, because of the army, I used to manage blokes when they used to box, and I used to coach the boxing team. Yeah. So you learn how to manage people, and I just put all them transferable skills into life. Yeah. I can now manage a company. I can do everything else with the infrastructure. The end product is what I don't have, is the trade. And I'm a professional, and then so with that is I've left the company now. I've left, but I understand how to run a company now, and even going through a company, I've never been stressed out in my life. All my life, what I've been through, never been stressed. Going into a company, it's like getting blisters on your lips. I was like, this is not for me. So I've closed that chapter in my book. I can run a company. I'd like to see what's open in the next company now, or go and get a job with someone else. Yeah. So my goal now is to go into property, where I know I can understand that area of expertise. Yeah,
development, property. Yeah. So you've got, I believe you will do well in that area, because you've got the discipline and, like you said, the infrastructure and what's behind you, all them skills, all those transferable skills, which is beneficial. Yeah. You know, but you never miss, like, see, the fighting side of things. Yeah. Every day I'm thinking. Oh, I do, Brian. Even though, like, I've got to admit this, even though I'm at a certain age now where it's like, you know, you're past your prime, Bill. Relax. I mean, you're fucking past me prime, mate, and I still believe I'm 25 in the head, like, but yeah, I miss
every day I'm thinking, I'm fighting with myself, go back to the gym. Yeah. And then I know if I go back to the gym, there's younger kids there, that's not the problem. There's older people there, that's not the problem. The problem is me. My ego will come out and I'll go, whatever work I'm doing, scrap that. I'll find a way to make money and train full time. And then I'll put 12 weeks into a camp and then only get £900. Yeah. Thinking, is it worth it? So I'm trying to find a happy medium in my life to say, listen, let's see how I can either go back into fighting, and the money's not there, the money's not great. You've got to be a 1% to make that UFC. You've got to be a special kid, and then even when you're in there, it's not an easy ride. You're competing. It's like the Champions League in football. You're going against the best of the best, and then it's all about marketing and how you produce yourself. You yourself are your own product.
So you've only got like not many in Liverpool that have made it.
No.
UFC, Paddy.
Darren Till,
Paddy the Baddie, Molly McCann.
Yeah, they're superstars now as well, because they're so good at making themselves to be superstars, and I think that's what you.
So they're the only three, you think, that have come out of Liverpool? But
well, there's a lot of fighters that have come through, like Paul Cahoon, Dave Faulkner.
Yeah, Boom, yeah.
And then there's Mark Scanlon, he was another one, Paul Sass, so Terry Etten. So there's loads
that have come through the ranks.
That have come through,
but just haven't got to that.
But all them are special fighters, just to even get to the pinnacle, to say you've been there. You can brand yourself, Chris Fishgold, you can brand yourself on that then.
So what, how many fights did you have?
I have actually got a CV right there.
Get it up. I'd like to know how many fights you had, how many fights you won, how many fights you lost.
So I've got a fighting CV, I'll just go through it. Martial arts background. I've had 129 fights. I've won 95, lost 34. Pro career is 11 wins, 8 losses. Go through it again. A lot of fights. Jiu-jitsu black belt. Boxing, I've had 36 wins, 36 fights. I've won 24, lost 11. Thai boxing, 70 bouts.
70?
Yeah. Not all were A class, but there's still Thai boxing bouts at the end of the day. I've won 54, lost 16. I've wrestled for England, not for England, sorry, for the White Club against Scotland in 2 weight divisions above me. And then I've gone for trials for the Olympics.
Okay, you've done a lot, haven't you?
For Taekwondo.
For the young kid, like.
So, as a Taekwondo, I went to see Dizzy Rascal the day before with my girl, and I thought, you know what, I had an open invite to go and do it. Never done Taekwondo in my life. And they said to me, okay, by the look of you, you've done boxing and you Thai boxing short on. I said, oh yeah. They said, give me all the armour, Thai boxing, Taekwondo armour. And they said, we're just going to infringe you with the rules. You can't grab the legs, you can't sweep, you can't attack the legs. It's all kicking to the head.
Scissor kicks, isn't it?
Yeah, scissor kicks, one strike to the body. And so I fought this British champion, he come on. They say, so I'm standing there like, kid from Kirby, just a nod on the head, and they say, oh no, bow, so you got to bow. And then they get just like, yeah mate, or you're on guard. So I'm standing there like with my hands here, put your dukes up, and this kid's standing with his hands down, and next minute he just front kicks me and puts me on my ass. And I went, oh fucking hell, you're on an open mat. And I thought, I can't have this, so he kicked me, I grabbed him, straight right to the head, and took his legs. And they said,
legal moves.
You're disqualified. They said, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. He ended up beating me 21-19, because he learned to just counter distance. And because I'm small, I had no chance. And then I had to do high kicks, and I got a letter through off the the IOC, and how they know the selection process. Thank you for your cooperation, and we admire your joining.
Yeah.
However, the sport is not suited for you. No. Thank you very much. But
did you feel it wasn't suited for you either?
Yeah. I just thought, you know what, jump in, you throw yourself in, and just have a go.
Stuff like that, Taekwondo, where you've got to like kick and run, basically.
Yeah. And counter and move and counter.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
I wanted to stand there and pick someone up and slam them on the
head.
Yeah,
you need that like that closeness, don't you?
Yeah.
That
so I was happy then.
Exchange of blows.
I thought, all these losses and little things I've done in life, it's not a loss. It's not even a learning curve. It's an adaptation to say, how can you better yourself? Oh, you might have lost that, but there's always a reason behind the loss. When you win, you forget what you've done half the time. You don't go back. You always go back on your losses. Yeah. So hence in life, when you open a chapter of one book, you close. People think that you've failed because you've done one thing. Yeah. I'm like, no, I'll just go and have another go with that. I'll try that one. If I fail, well, that's not a fail. I'll just have a go with that.
You know what, though, Bryan? You've gone from one extreme to another extreme. Yeah. You just go, I'm going to do this.
Open my own business, electrical business. I'm like, yeah, what do you know about this?
See, that's someone who's like career motivated.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're going to try something different. If you don't try something, you'll never know if you fail or you succeed.
Exactly, yes. So then I learned out about accounts with the company, and I was like, who does accounts? Because I can't add up to 100. I think 1,000 is it 100. I can't, literally, I'm bad with numbers. And the accountant who we got in touch with, the success plan, she goes, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it. And the accountant becomes your best mate. And I was like, right, so you're on more best name terms with your accountant than your actual business partner.
Yes.
And then I thought, I don't want to be an accountant. That's not my job. I won't throw myself in the deep end of that.
Oh, you're going to be good at maths, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
To be,
no chance.
Fuck that, mate. I'll be useless at that. So, what was the decision to sort of give you? I know money was a big factor, but what
to me,
was it the injuries? Was it the fact that had you gone through a process, Bryan, of like, because I felt I'd gone through like this like it was a full circle, because it was all my life I was fighting.
Yeah,
right?
Same.
In one area or other, it was always fighting something, and I was always fighting against myself in the end, and I got to this point where I thought, you know what, I remember this kid saying to me, surrender, and I grew up on 80s action hero movies, like no retreat, no surrender, AWOL, all that gear, and to me that was just something, just was alien. Surrender.
It becomes, all you want to do, like, is, like, I like the fact that I'm out of breath. Like, I do marathons, and I don't train for them. Literally, honest to God, the last marathon I was with Darren, training bodybuilding, and then I think it was the half marathon, the Liverpool half, and I'd done it in 2 hours 10.
Yeah, I remember you telling me,
I haven't ran for 5 months, but for a week later, my legs were wiped out, and I like to think of the concept of not training for something, because it's not fighting wise. You got to train for fighting. So you got to train for everything.
Yeah.
Because of the army, I was already mentally prepared to go through wherever I need to go. Hence, I can run. I've run all my life. I might not be fit to run now, but my brain is that sharp to run. I could go through the pain.
Even to run half marathons without any running.
I like the pain of your body feel like it's shutting down.
Yeah.
And how you can just go, oh, I'm in the shit here. How are we going to get on with it? And it's only when you come back after it, you go, well, I never surrendered. I never give in. So we can do it again.
It's, you know what? You know, like mental health goes about a lot, doesn't it? People talk about that and mental well-being, and you know. Do you ever feel it's because I'm not really too keen on that word, to be fair? You know, like mental health, and because it's quite broad, isn't it?
It's a stigma now.
It's a stigma now. It's like it used to, like, you know, you could tagline, "Oh, we're mental health," and people want to listen. But the reality of it is, right? We all suffer from some sort of like trauma or mental health. We're all someone else's rejection. Yeah. Right. This is a big one, right? We're all someone else's rejection. We're all someone else's kind of like bad experience, and we've had all that. But I feel, right, this is just me personally, right, that I can't go through life and travel through life and stay on my journey, like constantly going on about, oh, I suffer this and I suffer that, right? Because we're blessed with a few short decades, right? Right, it's about maintaining like positivity and confidence. And I know I sort of like, I think about my age, and like I think about my future. I project. I don't live in the moment at the best of times.
Kind of factors. You're thinking about factors,
I sort of visit the past a lot. Yeah. Project a lot into the future and avoid the now, the moment.
I'm kind of the opposite to the past is gone. Yeah. The future is there, and now is where I'm living. Yeah. How can I be the best now?
That's exactly what, like, Eckhart Tolle, right? I don't know if you've heard of Eckhart Tolle. He's The Power of Now. If you ever get the chance to read it, I'd suggest you read it. It's brilliant. And he's about being in the moment, right? And you just described, the past is gone, the future's not here. We can worry about stuff that's not happened. Yeah. You know, we can...
I learned a lot with fighting. Yeah. Fighting, it's in the future. When you're competing for a fight, I'm thinking 3 fights I could be in the UFC, and you're forgetting there's a man standing in front of you, ready to go through you, and I'm going, UFC's there, and you get beat. You're 3 fights back, and then because your brain's so focused, I'm thinking 6 fights down. Yeah. You might lose the other fight. You're 9 fights down, and you're thinking your brain won't click on the
register
the fact that focus on what's in front of you. Yeah. So after that, that's how in now life I think of now. How can I live now? What's the best for me to go in that direction? Is that direction possible? Yes, but is it going to be beneficial in the long run? No. Yeah. So focus on now to leapfrog to there.
Yeah. So leading back to like the mental health and the well-being and trauma, and you dealt with most of it through fighting. Yeah. Now you're in Civvy Street. You know, you're working. So what do you do? Because you've probably wired up the same as me, Brian. I know you are. What do you do to maintain that focus and that positivity?
Exercise. It's my only way out. If my head fell off the other day. I think it was about not the other day, a couple of months ago. With the Afghanistan, and people are saying it's what we've given is for nothing. But when we were there, we've done a good job, and that's focusing on the time at that.
Now that the Taliban have struck back over, you mean you've wasted all? So,
but no, it's not a waste, because at that time, life moves on. We done well for that time, and then so my mental game is to focus. If I didn't have exercise in my life, any way, shape or form,
no, I agree.
Your head falls off.
For me, that's I agree. I feel as if, you know, wake up, it sets me up for the day. You know, we see each other in the gym quite often, quite early. Yeah. It's done. It's dusted. You can get on with the rest of your day with that positive mental attitude. For me, I feel if I don't, I start to regress. Yeah. I start to focus on my weight.
Past. You go to the past.
Oh, I live in the past. I can't concentrate on anything that's in front of me, like the TV. Yeah. You know. But when I train, you know, the natural body endorphins. I suggest it to anyone if you're struggling, right? 100%. Whether, you know, I understand that there's people who are out there who watch this, that can't physically actually do any training, but you can.
There's always a way to
Bit of movements.
Yeah, a bit of movement. No, even if it comes down to like lifting a tin of beans. If you feel like you're bedridden, a tin of beans, that little bit of exercise, or if you can't walk, find another way. What I thought once, I snapped my kneecap. Yeah. When I snapped my kneecap, I tried to do a marathon, training to go to Russia to fight in Russia. I got kicked in the kneecap. Regardless, my kneecap went. My leg was in a full leg cast, and so the first 2 days, it's all about self-pity and doubt, and so I got myself up, and I used to go crutches to 2 miles to the gym, lift weights, upper body, and then go up along the stairs on my bum to get up because I didn't want to get the lift. That's how like stubborn I become.
And did you feel good about just doing something, putting that effort in?
Yeah, so I felt there's always a way to do it. My mate James Rose, he an IED hit him and he lost his legs. He's now climbed Kilimanjaro on his hands with his pins.
I've heard of that fella, yeah.
He's done a lot, So he's Kilimanjaro. I think he's done Snowdon or more.
Oh yeah, they have. I do know him because I sent him a message.
Yeah.
I was contacted by a friend of his, and I looked at what he was doing and I thought, this is a powerful...
I was in platoon with him in training.
And he lost both his legs?
Yeah, and he was the best. He'd run a mile and a half in like 7:30. He was one of the best blokes. He still is.
Yeah.
Well, because he's just adapted and thinking, I'm not going to let that get on top of me. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to make sure that mind overpowers. And we all have glips. We all have hiccups along the way, but it's managing to just go, fuck this, just go through it. Today I'm going to be the man, and whatever you do, even if it means you got to walk the shop to be the man, go to the gym, fight those demons, tell that demon in the car to fuck off, and focus on just killing whatever you got to do.
So what are your hopes for your bodybuilding career? Because you're on a diet now, are you?
Well, I'm on a bulking phase. I've never had to eat in my life. I've always tried to diet and keep myself so tight in shape. But now I'm allowed to eat and lift weights. I'm like, fucking hell, what's happening here?
Have you put weight on?
Yeah, I've put 10 kilos on since June till September. I've put 10 kilos on, and it's kind of unheard of how, and then Darren said, like, it's because you've restricted your body intake, your food intake that much. Yeah. Now you can eat. I've just gone, whoa. I went from a small to a medium to large clothes, and my hips have stayed the same, so I'm happy. Yeah. So my aspirations is to get on stage.
Is that and I believe you will.
Yeah.
I believe you will, Brian, because
wherever way that journey takes me, I've got no plans. But for now, it's just to get on stage, hopefully later on in the end of next year, when I'm in good enough nick, and if I win, just say, I've come to a turning road in my life. But I'm not going to say it yet, because I don't want to say it with regards to fighting, because there's always that one fight left.
Yeah, there's always
so
that one
my plan
fight.
for now is get on stage in a pair of undies and flex.
And how's life today with the family?
Good. My daughter does gymnastics. She's training with the City of Liverpool. My wife's they're the rocks of your family, aren't they? So whatever she says goes. Happy wife, happy life at the end of the day.
Well, that's a good point. So I always say this coming to the end. Right. What would you say? Any pearls of wisdom, by the way, to a young Bryan Creighton coming through the doors of life? What would you say to him?
Fighting world, army world,
any world,
business world.
just coming through those doors of life. Just what would you say to a younger version of yourself?
I'd say be listen to people who've been there and done it, because it's so easy to close the door on everyone and try and do it yourself. Listen to someone who's been there and done it, and take notes in life. That's the best thing, is to just listen. It's so easy not to listen. And being deaf, I've got to listen to the right ear anyway. So I tell the young Bryan...
So how did you become deaf, by the way?
With the GPMG. So they used to give us
50mm bullets?
It was 7.62.
7.62.
So they used to give us fibs, and you just put them in your ear, squeeze them down. Obviously, when you're out on the ground, you're sweating with the heat. And it's not just in theatre, it's on exercises as well. And then they'd come out, or sometimes they'd stay in. Yeah. But it just wasn't adequate enough, and you'd have to listen and move around. So, yeah, that was it. That's how I become deaf. And then come back, wanting to move on with my career, hoping to train for selection or likewise, and I had no chance.
No.
This door closed there, and then army is. So I was meant to go out. They said I'm off to get out in May, and then from then they said got a phone call. Just got married. Phone call long weekend. Phone call saying you're out the army in November. I was like, fucking hell, I got married in July. So November, July till November, and they said, oh, just to let you know, your resettlement package, you've got 4 weeks to take it, and close the door on you again. We're on leave. So I was like, shit, what do we do? And then that's why I joined the taxis. From at that point, yeah.
See, my brother left the army and he became a bus driver. And it's just like
My dad's a bus driver. My dad was in the army.
He'd been in the army, Brian. I know we've just gone a little bit over, but he was in the army for over 27 years.
There's no help. There really isn't no help, and I think
He got an army pension and that was it, and that was. Well, I don't know if he's a bus driver now. I think he's moved on to something else. But
I think the help would be just give someone like, because you think everyone when you come out the army is in the army, and then they might not be, but you think that everyone who you meet, oh, he's a good lad, and then people in this life are just turning their backs on you, and then I think what you need just a bit of support system, which you go to Help for Heroes and there's no support system. They're all happy to put the cash in the pockets, but they're not happy to give you support or give you a bike that you need to give some sort of exercise.
So what do you think of these, just going off track a bit more, these young homeless kids do it on the streets? Because I've seen a few, in Liverpool, and they've got cards, ex-servicemen.
Yeah, do you know, there's a man who goes out of his way, Nicholas Perry, the Veterans Lifeline, and he was getting them, he helped me at the start, and then getting people off the streets. And there's also one called the Box, and I'm not too sure you might have seen it in Walton.
The Box?
The Block, sorry.
The Block?
The Block, yeah. That's another one.
I never there was one called something Blue Apples. You ever remember that one? Blue Apple Arrows.
No, with the Block, they just opened up, and I'm yet to meet them. But you hear so much about them, you can do nothing but promote them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you take people in? There's support systems there. I think that's where I need to go, just to show me face, and even if it's to lend a hand. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about life in general now.
So life in general now is I've just stepped down as the director of the Rewire team.
Yeah. That was the company that you were involved with.
Yeah. So funny enough, I was sponsored a couple of episodes.
Yeah, you
so
did. Yeah.
We were doing really well, and then I'm a professional. I don't really want to talk about business, but it was good to be in that environment. I learned so much of like how to manage people, move people around, giving people a bit of hope in life, where some people might think as they work on a day-to-day, it's like just turning up with a coffee, how's your work going, are you doing well? And it also picks them up with, I haven't got a trade. My trade was, I'm a personal trainer, and I've got massage, sports massage, fitness instructor, but I do also think that because I've jumped into the deep end of something else, I've learned, like I've took the bull by the horns and gone, how can I manage this? I've never done accounts, I've never done job sheets, freaking hell, you name it. I've had to do everything, and then network with people I've never networked before, never knew how to network.
Do you feel though sometimes that, because we've been looking to that camera there, but dad and lad, right?
I've asked my mum. Said to me, Dad, what's going on?
I remember getting a picture with you years ago, and someone said, "Is that your son looks the image of you?" I was like, fucking hell. Only a few years now, I'm a good
I was the ancient races.
Yeah.
No, but the first time we bumped into each other was in town.
But do you ever feel that someone looks at you and makes a prejudgment on who you are because of the way you look?
Yeah, 100%. With a flat nose, cauliflower ears.
No intellect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you talk, people go,
a bit baffled, aren't they? You know what I mean? It's like,
like
you're quite articulate. You articulate what you need to say, get it across,
or you
convey a message.
It's good in some parts of life, because you can get a lot of get into town, or if you
no.
you go, you're all right, or you a fighter, and you're known, you're well
Yeah.
known, and then some parts of I've turned up to I've got got glasses, so when I go to meetings I put the glasses on.
I seen you with your glasses on yesterday
Yeah.
on socials. I was going to comment and say you look like something like Joe 90. You did. You look like a young Joe 90. So do you feel it's a coping mechanism as well? Because I do. Right. I go into town and someone will come up and go, "Oh, you know, you look like a bit of a tough customer." I don't feel like a tough customer.
Same, yeah.
Right. I feel like I'm just a normal.
Front, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a front. I'm not afraid to
Yeah.
go into that arena with anyone, but I don't want to.
It's kind of like
It is for me. It's sort
being
of like
back at home. If I was back at home, Bryan is the Discovery Channel. He's a geek. He's got Lego. He makes things up and plays with the daughter, family man. But as soon as I come out that door, I put this mask on to say persona and
keep away.
Just don't come near me. And it's sort of like you got to take that mask off and be yourself sometimes.
Yeah, because you walk around like a ball of bad way. You don't even realise it. I had that experience years ago where people would avoid me, and I'd feel really lonely, Bryan.
Yeah, I had a lad in town. Just come out the toilet. I bought a drink, and the first words he said, never met him before in my life, "You're always ready, aren't you?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You are always ready." So, and then it made me reflect on myself then and think, he's just, as you say, he's just judged you
his
for
perception,
seeing you.
yeah.
But then in my mind is fighting, tossing, sleeping at the other end of the bed. My house is my castle. I've got to defend things. And yeah, I am always ready. But then it's when people speak to you. Like I got speaking to the lad, and he said, "I'm sorry for judging you." He said, "But you just look like one of them people who are always ready to do or go about whatever way you need to."
Just that make you feel at times
Lonely,
yeah,
massively. But sometimes it's nice being alone. Just go and have a cup of coffee, people watch.
yeah.
So I don't mind that. But then on the other end of the scale, your circle of mates are very small.
I had someone say something to you the other day, and it wasn't, it was probably the way, it reflected in the way I looked at that moment. It was like he said, "You look very intense." I didn't know this kid at all. I said, "How come you're not smiling? What's going on with you?" We were up and about, and he went, "Oh, you look very intense." And I thought, he's probably right, because I was tired.
Yeah.
When I'm tired, I've got nothing. There's nothing there. I look like I can't be arsed with anyone. It's because I'm probably can't be arsed with anyone. I can be quite abrupt.
Yeah.
Shut you down and put a full stop on things.
I think when I was in the gym,
I do feel bad about it
on the
though.
other day, so I was in the gym and you're focused, you've got a plan in your head and you're doing this and you're doing that. So I come down the stairs and I seen a family friend, spoke to her, and her son was there, and she speaks to me girl and she says, I said, "Why didn't he come and train?" Or I said to Amanda, "Why don't he come and train with me?" She says, you like you say, you're intense. They don't want to intrigue in what you're doing. I said, if they stop me, said, "Hiya, can you help?" You go, "Yeah, okay." I said, "You drop your guard."
No, I had a message. I read the message. Said, "I seen you and your brother the other day out, and I wanted to say hello, but I didn't want to intrude." I thought, "Mate, just pop over, say hello. It's nice. Jump in a picture. Be nice,
it's nice to be nice, isn't it?
It is, because there's too many people out there that are above the streets and houses.
I think it's always good to just say to someone, I've done it through time and time again. If you're sitting there on your own having a coffee, "Hiya, how's your day?"
Yeah.
And it just knocks someone back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why is he talking to me? And you're like, "Hiya."
What's his agenda? What's his motive?
Yeah, and you're just there, just being happy and have a good day. Oh, ta-ra now. So manners cost nothing, and it's nice to be nice with people.
Someone said that to me, a while back. It is nice to be nice, and sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it, Bill.
Yeah.
I've said it. It's not what I say.
Imagine saying to someone, "Have a good day," and then on the same concept, "Have a nice day."
Yeah.
It's completely changes.
It's that goes to what you say and not how you say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to get through it. So I think, to be fair though, we've been on the receiving end of judging everybody else.
Yeah.
And we've had to. And people say you don't judge people, but you do to survive. I'll judge whether you're good in my life.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna.
I think a lot of people are on the framework is what can they do for me?
Yeah.
Whereas just having a mate in general is...
Loyalties.
Yeah, loyalty is
hard work,
massively.
isn't it? Yeah.
And then now it's loyalty, trust, and a lot of people thinking, how can he be my mate, and what good is he to be a mate for me? Where you can just be a mate to anyone and say hello to anyone. It doesn't hurt or cost anything, does it?
There's a book called The Road Less Travelled, right? And it talks about what is the meaning of love, right? Because it was always a big question for people. What does it mean? Like, you're lust, you know, are you infatuated? You're just obsessed with someone. You know, what does it mean? And it simply means giving a piece of yourself to someone else without any motives.
Yeah.
You know, offering a service.
The universe, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah, The Road Less Travelled, but I enjoyed that read. So, yeah, we're coming to the end of the podcast. I've enjoyed the chat. It's been different. You know, I've been wanting to get you on for a while. You're an hard man to
catch.
Pins down with all you're a busy bee. But thanks for coming on, Bryan. It's important to carry that message of, you know, hope and perseverance. Tell us any pearls of wisdom before we finish.
Yeah, just listen to people who've been there and done that.
Yeah.
So other than that, it's like
keeping it simple.
So keep it that's this simple. Listen to people who've got the experience.
Your predecessors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. You know, it's a big thing when you're young and you're full of arrogance, aren't you? You got that air of youth.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah, no one can tell you how to train. No one can tell you anything. You know better.
Yeah, I was there myself, and then I think just listen to people. It's so easy to do.
In hindsight, I wish I had that. So I could look back and go, okay, I'd sit there and listen to someone and guide me. Yeah. Especially through training.
Get a mentor in life and listen to the mentor. Again, it comes down to listening.
Yeah, brilliant. And with that, Bryan, thank you.
Thanks very much.